Mitch Sherman, we talked about this with Mitch, and he had a tweet over the weekend because he was, Mitch was, tweeting things after the public practice. And he mentioned that, hey, Dylan Raiola looks sharp. To which someone responded, how does he compare to Jeff Sims at this time last year? And Mitch said, I can't tell if this is a serious question. But I think the point that the responder was trying to make.
Because, and real quick, there were a lot of people who were saying this to Mitch afterwards, like, whoa, whoa.
Right. Was, well, remember this time last year, it was all about Jeff Sims this and Jeff Sims that. Now, let's be fair. I don't think anybody last year was applying, and I don't want to say people are being unreasonable with Dylan, but I think the excitement for Dylan today, August 5, 2024, it's a different kind of excitement than existed for Jeff Sims August 5 of 2023. I think with Sims, it was a lot of projecting a lot of hope and maybe some trust. But listen, we all pointed out ad nauseum throughout the course of that offseason, hey, remember, this dude had some turnover issues. Can they fix those turnover issues? So it's not like there weren't warning signs to say that. Now, again, none of us were expecting the ultimate collapse.
Thank you. That's the thing, like
that happened.
You guys didn't see this coming. You should have. No, come on. There's one thing to be turnover prone. If he would have been Tanner Lee last year, those numbers, bunch of pick sixes, we would have said, I'll sign up for that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy couldn't catch snaps.
No.
The guy melted down on the football field.
Correct.
Game after game after game. And that wasn't happening in practice.
No.
Enough people in the media and in the fan base in general know enough other people that go to practice. You know what I didn't hear any of? That. It's one thing to throw an interception. It's another to maybe struggle with decision making. The guy couldn't do basic football things out there on the football field. The lights, I think, were too bright for him. And Mitch has said, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he kind of said the same thing. And I think a lot of people would say the same thing. That's what's different about, well, there's a lot of things that are different.
Sure.
The guy wasn't a turnover machine in high school, whereas Jeff Sims was in high school.
So just for argument's sake, just to lean into what the responder to Mitch's tweet is alluding to. Do we have a blind spot for this team this year?
For this team?
Is there a trust issue that exists somewhere out there that we have overlooked? And I know I've asked this question basically in different ways over the last few shows, but it all stems back to last year because we obviously overlooked, even though we acknowledged it, I think we overlooked Jeff Sims' turnover problem.
Definitely.
Now,
but still,
again, we did not expect the ultimate meltdown that we got. But is there a blind spot? Is there a trust issue that exists out there that maybe we need to be more cognizant of as we get closer to this?
Well, speaking of turnovers, Max writes, can I suggest that we're overlooking Satterfield's turnover issues as an OC? 2021, 24 turnovers at South Carolina, 122nd nationally. 2022, 27 turnovers, which was 126th. Last year, 31, dead last. What if that trend continues?
Can I offer this, though? I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong, but how are turnovers applicable to the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because it's not like the OC is calling plays that should.
I guess the only
the play design is so easy to anticipate, I guess.
Possibly,
but do we think that was the issue with the offense last year, that it was easy to anticipate, or was it because, again, the quarterbacks were bad? They kept turning the ball over.
You had quarterbacks that weren't ready for that job.
Yeah, not to look. I don't want
either mentally or just not being able to be prepared for the job. I don't want to pull away any responsibility from the offensive coordinator because ultimately they are responsible for the performance of the offense. But how do turnovers specifically relate back to, it's got to be the OC's fault?
Yeah, because I blame that on quarterback more than I blame it on the offensive coordinator.
I guess you could say it's their choice of who plays.
But again, they were rocking a hard place last year, man. Like, I don't know what more they could have done. Everyone that people wanted a chance had a chance. Sims played. He was bad. He got hurt. Harburg came in. Harburg then started turning the ball. I mean, he was always turning the ball over, but it really ramped up. People wanted to go back to Sims. They went back to Sims for a little bit. He then melted down again. And then after that, Chubba had an opportunity. And guess what? He was the same guy. Now, I guess maybe I just presented evidence that it was Satterfield's fault. I would say it's a combination of who they inherited and the quarterback that they brought in. And they were like, you can blame them for that if you want to, putting the entire situation on Sims. Look, if Dylan Raiola, who, for all intents, I mean, really good turnover numbers in high school, if he turns into a turnover machine, I would definitely hear that out. So I don't think it's a wrong thing to bring up. But I don't know if I am not willing to blame turnovers to that degree on the offensive coordinator. Though maybe I'm being incorrect because that's some really good data there that Max has for him as a coordinator. But again,
how much of that was based on the guys that they picked to play?
Yeah. I said it last year. I never liked the Satterfield hire. But I gave him grace because I thought the situation last year was what it was. The grace starts to disappear if the same issues continue to pop up with a 5-star quarterback. So this is a put up or shut up year to some degree. Certainly, 2025 will be.
And we know Josh can't be happy with both coordinators. He's got to pick on one.
Yeah, well,
poor Chins somewhere out there is still scraping off all the.
You mean fired Chins?
Yeah, it's all the soot from the fire.
Josh Peterson, correct. Should have read the Omaha World Herald headline when he got fired. Josh called this years ago.